this beautiful Saturday, July what? 11?
Yes.
July 11? Welcome to our world. My tech world.
Don't mind it, guys.
A very long day. Screaming kids. Yeah. Oh gosh. Alright, let me start this up here. Let me share this on page. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, depending on where in the world you are from. Got world rank number one, Yvette Yong here, and Ali Ghafour here, CEO of 2020 Armor, former national team member as well. And while we wait for everybody to join and share this page on my personal page, there's a lot of people who obviously love Taekwondo on my Facebook. Today is going to be a cool topic.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it away because it's right behind your head.
So we have a 4-week reaction improvement plan to share with you guys. Pretty simple. Consists of all the weeks that we started from week 1 of how to improve your reaction time. Week 1 was what was it? Week 1 was more technique. Week 2 was the physical preparation, which is like workout plans for you to strengthen your leg. Week 3 was stimuli, and week 4 was cognitive exercises.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is, those individual videos that we have on our YouTube and Facebook will have all the details. But what we're going to do now here is, if someone were asking, how do I just improve my reaction time? What do I do? We'll give you like a step-by-step 4-week guide on how to do that. And not only how to do that, but how do you even know if you're improving? Do you have something that will show you how to, what your reaction time is and how to measure it?
Does that thing do it?
Oh, what is that thing? Yeah, we're going to show you how to measure it with this thing. And so not only do you have a plan for the 4 weeks on what to do on all those 4 categories that we talked about, but actually now putting in those benchmarks and measuring those and seeing the improvement or not. And then based on those 2 things, you can also go in different directions, right? So if you're seeing that, and this will go beyond what we're going to be talking about today because we only have 30 minutes here. But if you're seeing that you're not improving, then you look at that with your coach and see what you can do there. So the point is that the data will tell you which direction to go and the trends in the data, which is important.
Yeah, what things are working and what things aren't working, because everybody is different, right? Every athlete has different strengths, and so this is like, I'm so excited to show you our 4-week plan.
Yeah. All right, I just shared it. Okay, great. So, do we need to say anything else? Okay. So right now the way we just going on street measurement. So for those of you who have the 2020 Armor and the app, the data obviously stores on your profile, and what we're going to be coming up with, and we don't have the exact date yet, but in the app itself we will actually aggregate all your data and show you the analysis. Right now we save everything on your profile, so you can take that and put it in a spreadsheet, and we can see the trends. It's pretty easy, just literally copy a number. But soon enough, that will actually be done for you, and we will we'll show you what the trends are, so it'll be easier to see. So if you have these 2 great coaches already on, Professor Bernard and Coach Terrence Jennings, they'll help you even get much better than you probably already are. So with that, we'll get into it. Week 1. What do you do? I want to get faster. What's the first thing I do?
Go outside and run.
Yeah, physical, sure.
So week 1 we talked about our technique in our kicks, right? So the very first thing I talked about was your foot positioning. I know a lot of people, like, they walk differently like everybody walks differently. I mean, Ali has a little bit of a wider stance. His feet are like this.
She makes fun of
When he
it.
stands. So one of the things that I really worked on for myself to make my reaction time faster was my foot positioning. So I would position my feet a little bit like facing the target, so I didn't have to use that extra turn to kick onto the chest guard. So, you know, everybody's normal stance is you jump up and the way you land is the way your fighting stance is, right? So that's why I teach all my students. Jump up and just let me see your stance. Some people are already like this, some people are way out like this, but what I suggested was keep your feet in front of the target, toes pointing this way so you have less of a turn before you kick. So from here, it's super aerodynamic on a straight line, knee up, right to the target, and turning at the last moment. All right, so that's what we worked on the first week. The second week was, again, you guys can go back and look onto our videos because we explained a lot more things than that. We're just going over, you know, a few important techniques through each week. So the second week was physical exercise. And I talked about a lot of single leg workouts that you can do by yourself without the chest guard and with the chest guard. One of them was a split squat. One was elevated on top of a chair or a bench. And you're basically isolating this leg right here. You can hold a weight and do that workout to make that leg stronger. There's a lot of other things that we did too. I mean, Ali tried it as well. Right? So it's, what else did we do? Back here.
Physical one?
Yeah, physical. Week one was...
Oh, no, this is the 4-week improvement plan.
week.
Yeah, not what we
Okay.
did in the 4 week. Yeah. So what Yvette's covering isn't the 4-week plan for the improvement. She's just covering what we covered in the last 4 weeks, just as a high level overview. And we're going to take pieces of those and put it into an actual 4-week plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So second week was physical. Third week was stimuli. So we talked about visual, we talked about sound, we talked about touch. A few of the things that we did was, so with and without your coach, right? So if you didn't have a coach with you, you could do it by yourself. We have some exercises that you can do by yourself, such as like recording sound and using that sound to hit the target, hit the chest guard. With this chest guard, there is the light, so you can do that by yourself. And also with touch, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of the things I did that was right here, standing in front of the target. I'd close my eyes and Ali would touch me, and I'd have to hit it right away. One of my favorite things to do.
With the reaction game too. So, so I would read the lights. That would be the, and this should be the secondary input. So it's also testing my reaction time too. Yeah.
And last but not least, the last week that we did was cognitive exercises. Things to strengthen your brain, because that's where it all starts. Through your brain, spinal cord, and then to your limbs. That's how you have faster reaction time. So we did a lot of cognitive exercises. An example was basically just being uncomfortable with your body, like using your non-dominant hand to write things, to sign your signature. What else do we have? Writing numbers and racing with other people. You know, we did the numbers and then we had to add on to it, but using your non-dominant hand. Catching a ball with a non-dominant hand. Playing with a partner as well.
And then for those cognitive exercises, and you'll see how it fits into the overall plan, was you do those on the days that you're physically tired, right? So yeah, maybe you're just taxed out your body, you can't feel your legs, and it's not a good time to actually try to force to get a good reaction time, while your brain can still be sharp. So yeah, I'm excited to see how we can all go together. And
honestly, it's very simple. It's not a very hard training program. With all the things that we listed here, you basically do certain ones for week one, and then you keep adding on as the weeks go by.
Now, what Yvette will tell you is that it's super simple for her, Shari's world, right? Number one, not in terms of physically able to do it, but in terms of even conceptualizing it. We take for granted, and you've been competing longer than I have at an international stage, we take for granted the knowledge that we've actually absorbed throughout the years from all the people that we met, not only in our sport, but other sports, right? Because you've talked to other athletes from other sports and see what they've done. And so some of the same coaches here that are watching right now, you've learned from other coaches as well. So there's only so much that you learn when you were an athlete, if you were an athlete, and then you absorb something from everything else. So you have a lot to share. The stuff that you talk about, 80% of it I haven't even heard of myself, and we used to be on the same team as well. So again, you're discounting the value that you have, but it is not. It sounds simple, but there's a lot of knowledge involved. So we'll use black for the actual exercises. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can color code all the different ones. So the cognitive ones will be a certain color, the physical ones, and then the little measurement ones as well.
Again, this will be available to everybody, right?
I have 3 colors, so.
3 colors.
Oh, we have 5.
Well, actually, you know what? I have a couple more.
So the first, so for those who might have just joined a little bit later, just so you know, the 2020 Armor app records your data, and so this is going to be the important part. So the whole, this is a key word here: improvement plan. How do you know you improved? Right? That is the whole point. You can just put something together, but how do you know if you improved? So the whole point of that is measurement. So the 2020 Armor app has the ability to save your data. And then soon there'll be, we'll call it 2020 Armor Insights, where we'll actually plot that data for you and show you a trend. And then, so basically when you start doing these exercises, you can look at the data yourself, or if you're fortunate enough and you have a coach, you can look at the trends and see why you're going up or down. Maybe you're doing the wrong type of physical exercise, maybe you're doing it in a different way, maybe you did too much, too little. That will always be, you'll need a human to kind of figure that out, but you'll have the data there to show you. You just got smarter. Yvette just got smarter a couple classes. Now she's in her smart mode, professor mode. But the numbers will tell you which direction you're going in, and that's important to know if you need to make any sort of adjustments. Because again, if you can't measure it, how do you know that you're improving? What gets measured gets improved. Okay. So the first thing that we do is measure. So before all of this stuff is 2 games of reaction.
Yes.
Back leg rounds. Okay. Right?
Basically, you want to have a starting point. You want to compare yourself to something, right? So first thing that we want to do is play the reaction game, have that data available to you, and we can work with that. And generally, you want to see improvement, right? So 2, or we can actually do it 3 times if you want. 2 is always better than 2.
Okay.
Right? So 3 times, you're gonna play with the reaction mode in the live mode, so you can actually see yourself as well, because we're gonna have to change some things in your body. So 3 times, 1 minute each time. You guys don't have to do it right after another because you get really tired. So 1 time for 1 minute, take a rest, do a little something, come back to it, do another one.
5-minute rest, 10-minute rest, 2-minute rest.
Generally, I want you guys to do your best. So however much time you need or rest in between to do your best again.
So you kind of feel right, like you feel
exactly. Yeah, you don't want to have to do the reaction game again if you're super tired, because we want real data, right?
And then so you're saying 3 times, so 3 times same leg, and only back leg roundhouse kick?
Yes.
Your baseline?
Yeah,
Okay.
Basically back leg roundhouse kick, simple kick. We want to start with that. You can choose your right leg or your left leg, or you can do it 3 times with your right leg, or 3 times with your left leg.
Yeah, so that's important. So now we're setting a baseline, because that is the baseline that we're going to base improvement on, right? So we're going to see at the end of 4 weeks, did that time go up or down, or did it stay the same? Because each one of those scenarios says something. Mm-hmm. If it went down, then did you do everything wrong? Are you extremely tired? What happened? Did you get injured? If you stay the same, maybe you're already at super peak performance, and that says something.
Another thing to think about is, I'm not really a morning person, so my ideal time wouldn't be doing it right when I wake up. I don't know why, I thrive in the night, so so for me, I would do it in the evening time to see my data. But you could also try different times of the day as well, if you want to measure that, if you want to improve on that as well.
Yeah, because what you might want to do is maybe want to mimic a game day kind of time, right? Because the first match of the tournament is the most important. You don't win that, and it was gone, right? So do you try to mimic that? That's also another way you can try to kind of tweak that to get a little bit more realistic as well.
All right, perfect. So
first thing, measure.
Measure, okay, and we got the handy dandy 2020 Armor.
Yeah, so just in case you forget, so the reaction mode game, live mode, put your phone on you. We won't play the game, we'll show it to you just so you know. And then, yeah, let me show you guys here. So if you open up the reaction game live mode, because you want to record yourself, this is important because then you want to share it with your coach, and then also so that you can review the techniques and stuff later. 60 seconds, and then you start the game. And then again, it'll record yourself, and then it'll overlay your actual data. Now, what's important here is your average reaction time. Okay, that's the data that we're going to put in your I don't have my copy today. That's the data that you will put in your spreadsheet, and that we will actually, again, in the app automatically do that for you in a few months' time as well. Okay, so first thing you do is you measure. Then, ma'am, what do I do next? Make me the fastest in the world.
So we have to work with the foundation, the very beginning of your kick. What is that? It's your stance, right? So if you were standing like this, you could just find the best way that you stand. Like, I don't know how you stand in competition. Like, you stand like that?
Yeah.
I mean, again, you can practice the way you want to, but I suggest you change the stance a little bit more forward, a little bit more aerodynamic, and instead of your knee coming out this way and using your hip, makes you that much slower. I know it's like milliseconds slower, but that millisecond...
It could have been faster.
It could have been faster. You could have scored first if it's something to do with golden point, sudden death. What do they call it, golden point now? Sudden death was years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be what do you call it? It could be like a win and loss kind of situation.
Yeah, because when we did the test for that week one exercise, it was 30% difference, right? When we did like a leaning back version versus that one. So yeah, so your foundation can have a huge 30% increase or decrease in reaction time.
Alright, so work on your foundation, keep kicking. Repetition is one of the most important things to train, to do, because repetition really makes your body get used to it, right? So you don't want your body to feel weird when you're kicking, trying to score a point. So repetition with the stance that is most aerodynamic. I mean, it doesn't have to be super straight like this, but just your foot position, bouncing, repeating that kick always in the same kind of manner. This one, you don't have to be super quick. You just want to have repetition. Okay, so I mean, like 15-20 minutes of the same repetition each kick. Just keep kicking.
So in your mind, like you're just thinking of your position.
You're thinking of your position, right? So you want to work on that until you don't have to think anymore, right? So every time I'm fighting, my legs are like this, I have to think about it. Like forward, up here, knee up first, without moving my body, knee up first, and turning at the same time. Bouncing again. Like right now, I don't have to think about it anymore because I already stand like this, and my knee comes up. It's like you want to fix your kick first, okay? Doesn't matter how fast you are, how slow you are right now, just fix that kick, fix that technique, okay?
So that was 20 minutes of just techniques and focusing on that. How many times that week?
Oh, for this, this 1 week. You can do it every day if you want. I mean, this is not tiring. You're just basically doing repetition. You can do it every day, 15-20 minutes every day of the repetition.
Okay.
So also, on top of that repetition, I would like to work on physical workout because that
in this first week.
In this first week as well. So you're gonna start out, using different muscles, isolating that one leg. About 3 times a week in the beginning, not too crazy because you're just starting out. If you're not used to doing lower body workout with just one leg, then take it easy, but I suggest 3 times a week for that.
And by the way, we'll write this out in the description afterwards for you. I'm just putting it up here visually, but we will write it up as well.
Yeah, so all these different exercises will be available to you. We're just writing out a outline right now. Okay, so 20 minutes of repetition every day for that first week. And then 3 times a week, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, if that's for your schedule. You don't want to do it 3 times in a row each day. Your body needs rest for physical activity. Okay, so after that, we want to measure. And again, this, because you're measuring after the first week, if you don't see, an improvement in your data, that doesn't mean that you're not improving. It means that your body is getting used to it, right? So if you're not used to doing repetition every day, if you're not used to doing, the physical workout 3 times a week, your body will get used to it. So don't be discouraged if you're not seeing improvements.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very, very important. You're not going to see something in a week. You might see a decline because, especially if you haven't done any of the exercises, that's normal. That's the way the body works. But in 4 weeks, you should be seeing something. After
week 4 is when you're going to begin to see a huge a spike, like after the 4 week, and into like week 6, 7, and 8 if you continue it like this, right? So after 1 month is when you really see a general spike.
Yeah, and what we're showing you here is really like the appetizer plan, right? Me and Yvette are working on quite a lot of different things, but this is something very basic. Really, there's 3-month plans, 6 months. I'm just sitting on the ground, guys. This is easier, and she's short, and the camera wants to see your feet. Oh, I want to see your feet. That's why, and there's not improvements. Anyways, so 3 months, 6 months, and even a year plan that we can put towards on just focusing on one thing, which is reaction time, right? So, so we said measuring twice this week. We could also measure 3 times as well. You're not going to, the measurement part is not intense, right? You're doing 3 minutes, 3 rounds. It's a pretty easy measurement. I think you need to do a minimum twice. I think if you do 3, that'd be ideal. So like on a Wednesday, for example. So let's say like the week is Sunday to Saturday. Do it on Sunday, do it on Wednesday, do it on Saturday. So then you kind of have it in those, splitting up evenly throughout the week. And also, as Yvette mentioned, measuring at the same time. So you get rid of any sort of variability. So same time, minimum twice, at least 3 times per week.
Yeah, and for the first week, again, this is just to have like your main foundation of data. So the first week is literally just testing all these things out, seeing how your body feels. First one is measuring with no training whatsoever, seeing what your reaction time is without anything. Then midweek is just seeing how your body's getting used to it, and then by the end of the week, you're probably exhausted doing this new training, and you're probably not going to see an improvement, but with this same measurement, we're going to use for week 2, week 3, week 4, and then that's when you're going to see the improvement, right? So if we have 2 measurements, like one on Wednesday and one on Saturday, we can use these 2 for each week to see that spike.
Yeah. I'm just going to continue to do that for the rest of the weeks because that's not going to change.
It's always good to have more data. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt. And the other thing in the app that is really interesting that to also come out, you'll be able to tag what technique you did. Yeah, I haven't shown you this yet, but basically you can say it was back leg, back, right leg, roundhouse kick, attack, or back, right leg, roundhouse kick, defense. And
basically anything.
Yeah, all the techniques, you can do that. And then what you can do is you can actually get an aggregate result of what is the reaction time of my back leg, of all techniques. That's kind of cool. So that gets a little bit more advanced. You have to, you got to do a little bit more. We're going to say
very simple right now.
Very simple, but the point is that that's kind of the direction that we're going in, and hopefully, coaches and athletes will go in because, again, what gets measured gets improved.
Yeah.
All right. So this is measuring. Again, the measuring that you're doing is very simple, right? It's the same thing, just back leg, roundhouse kick. Yeah. Probably looks like a line on the TV anyway, so.
It's okay, they didn't. So second week, you're probably exhausted, your body's getting used to it. Second week is when we try to put a little bit more into our workouts. So instead of doing 20 minutes, you don't have to do this like 20 minutes every day. Right now you can do it a little bit less. So I want you to decrease the repetition time for week 2 and increase your weight or your reps for the physical activity, right? So your body's getting a little bit stronger. After that, your technique, after 1 week, if you're doing it every day, your body's probably really used to it already, so you don't have to do as much, right?
So 3 times, twice?
Yeah, so 3 times, again, you can do this every day, but you don't have to anymore. This was really just to change that that foundation technique that you had, the start of your kick. So, I mean, 10 minutes of repetition, 3 times a week is good enough for me.
Okay. Technique.
Right. And then with our physical, so the leg workouts and everything like that, you can up the weight on that, up the reps on that. Your body's getting a little stronger. So in the first week, I don't want you to kill yourself with reps and with the weights, right? After that first week, your muscles are just going to be so tired. You're going to be in agony. So the first week is literally just testing it out, testing how your body feels, doing 3 times a week for physical, very, very lightweight, and no weight if you don't want to. So week 2 is lessening the repetition time, measuring midweek, and then at the end, measure at the end of the week, sorry.
Yeah, we're calling Saturday.
Saturday, yeah, okay.
And again, remember guys, we have these training, what the physical exercises are. We covered that in a previous class, so we'll link out to those as well. And the same thing with the technique, we'll link out to those.
Right. So after, and again, there's going to be different workouts that we'll provide as well. We're just listing out as an outline right now.
Yep.
So after week 2, your body's great, feeling good. After 2 weeks of physical exercise, you're probably not going to be as sore anymore. So that is when we are going to add in stimuli. Okay? So again, with the repetition, you can keep it the same 3 times a week for 10 minutes. Same thing, repetition. Repetition doesn't mean that you're doing it fast, it just means repetition. All right? So normal speed, getting your body used to it.
So 3 times 10 minutes again?
Yeah, same thing again. So repetition is probably going to stay the same for week 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome. So now we're going to add in stimuli because your body is already used to it. So our stimuli consists of visual, sound, and touch. Okay, so you're still gonna be doing your physical every day. So about 3 times a week again. And then we're going to add on to it.
Okay.
Same thing, physical 3 times a week. Then we're going to add on stimuli.
I'll do stimuli in blue. I didn't have any, I need one more color, so the techniques and physical are the same color, but imagine they weren't. Okay, stimuli.
Yes.
Okay. How often? What kind?
Honestly, you can do this every day if you wanted to. Stimuli is not really something that's going to make you, taxing or going to make you tired physically. It's just going to help you understand your body.
So 5 to 7 times?
Yeah, 5 to 7 times. You can play with the reaction, the game. You can play with another person. Things like that, and then again we're going to show you the exercises that we have available for that. So now we're going on to week 4. You've done your repetition, you've measured yourself, you've done your physical, and you've done your stimuli. Now we're going to add in our cognitive exercises.
So stimuli again on week 4?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. same amount of times?
Same amount of times.
Okay.
And then you're gonna add in your cognitive exercises. Okay? Again, that is actually not taxing on the body. It's all in your mind now. And what I suggest with these kind of things, with the cognitive exercises, is that you can do them anytime. It doesn't necessarily have to be the time that you are training. You can do it when you wake up. You can do it right before you go to sleep. You can do it, riding on the bus, or at any time. All right. And I suggest you do these cognitive exercises when your body is super tired. Right? So when your body's super tired, your brain doesn't want to work either. That's the best time to work on these things. All right?
And another reason why the cognitive and doing it when you're tired, another time that you can do it is, let's say you're in a match and you're like, I'm slow. You can actually, like in the match itself, or like when you have a break with your, during the break, try to do some of those exercises, because if you practice those in the past, it'll trigger some of those muscle memory and neural pathways to remember to be quick again. So, because you've experienced it, you're super tired, told yourself I need to be faster, you did some other exercises. And if you do that when you are actually tired, that will also help stimulate that speed again. So, yeah, that's a really cool one that you can do anytime. So again, every day, right? That's pretty cool. I mean, if you're not fast after that.
Yeah, and then the last thing we do at the end of the month is measure.
That'll be the big one, right?
Yeah. Again, this is only a 1 month plan, right? So I wanted to stress that a lot of athletes are different in how they improve in time and their training. So this is just like a general idea, a general plan that we could.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a start, right? Like right now, you guys don't measure anything. I know you don't, because you can't. It's not an easy thing to do. The tools aren't there. It's not something that we do in our sport industry, unless you work at a really high performance, what's it called, gym that like the Olympic centers kind of provide, and they have all those tools to measure. But basically, at the end of the 4 weeks, you'll have 4 weeks times 3 measurements a day, times you do that 3 times for the rising rounds. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12 times 3, 24, about 36 measurements. Okay, so you have 36 data points. Hope I did my math right there. It's a start. You'll be able to start seeing some sort of trends. Whereas before, how many data points did you have? 0. So at least you can start working. And then you take that to your coach. You take a look at it yourself, and then you can now start adjusting these things, right? And this is only a 4-week plan, right? Obviously, it's not like you just do your 4 week and then like, all right, I'm good. Never have to think about reaction again.
This is the beginning. So this is starting from scratch, from 0, right? So after this 4-week trend, there's other different things that we can do, but this is just the beginning, a general thing for everybody to start out with if you don't have a plan in place already. And when I added these things after, it's really important for me to just isolate that training in the beginning, just to see what you are really made of in the beginning without any training, right? So that's why I said repetition every day, physical training, and we're not using any stimuli or cognitive exercises in the first week, right? So we don't want to fluster your brain too much, right? We just want to work on your body in the beginning, right? So that's super important for me. And then week 2 is when we start adding up the weights, lessening the repetition, and then measuring it from there, making your body strong first. After that, once your body is used to everything, your body is strong, your repetition is every day, throughout the whole week, then we start to add in the stimuli. So when you don't have to think about positioning your body anymore, or things like that, right? So when we put in stimuli, right after that, we're going to add in the cognitive exercises. Right? So it's just an adding on each week, different things.
Right. Yeah. And then you have 36 data points that you can now analyze. And again, guys, this is the start of this, right? Well, this is we suggested, for example, back leg, roundhouse kick. We said choose your favorite one, left leg or right leg. But you and your coach might decide, for today's game, maybe it's front leg cut kick, right? And that's what you choose and you want to measure your reaction time on. And that's fine too. There is no actual standard for this yet because it does, no one really does this. So this is really pioneering stuff. And, we'll give you what we believe is a good starting point. But by all means, be creative with yourself and with your coach. And think about it as well. But if you're looking for a starting point, I think this is a very good one. And by the way, this isn't something that only me and Yvette have thought of. We have talked to other coaches about it as well. Some very international coaches, and all actually came to the same agreement that something is better than nothing. And then from there, then we can, again, iterate and improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this is only for one technique that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And there's
right.
there's so many different things that we can do with a training plan like this.
Right, and again, this is generic, you want something more custom to you, depending on where you are in your competition life and what your results are, then, there's different ways to improve that, and Yvette and I are working on something on that front as well. Once we have more details on that, we'll let you know. But but the key thing is measure, what gets measured gets improved, and we can help you out with that, obviously the best. And so, we do have them in stock. If you go to 2020armor.com right now, you can purchase them. If you don't have a bottle Weighmaster, you can buy that from us as well, or just buy it from your local distributor. That's fine too.
Now we got swag too.
Oh yeah, swag.
You can get some swag.
You can always get the swag. And yeah, I think that's it for this week's class.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hope you guys find that really useful.
Yeah. I think you will definitely get faster if you start doing that stuff. Oh, and we might have a break in just in time. Who's at the door? Oh. All right, guys. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody. See ya next week. Baby, we said wait!